CHGO White Sox podcast coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, the full CHGO White Sox crew. That's Vinnie Duber. Follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. And the man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. Make sure you're giving us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up button.
Yeah,
just
that works.
Give us one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I could be a little bit more finesse.
Ozzy's on the screen. He's telling people to give us a thumbs up.
Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to CHGO Sports. I don't know what's on at 5:30, but something's on at 5:30. There's no Bulls or Blackhawks game today, but we got Bulls at 5:30. I'm assuming Hawks was earlier today.
It was early. It was a remote.
No, game got banged.
They got game because Buffalo's cold as F. Bang.
That's baseball terminology. I don't know if that's what they use in hockey.
That's Mike Breen territory.
Yeah.
Bang, bang. Today we're going to be talking. Oh, and our producer is Sarah.
Hi.
I was in the middle of saying subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. Comment. Luke's excited to be watching live today. We're going to be talking about Noah Schultz. He's gotten a lot of rave today. Baseball America put out their top 100 prospects in baseball. Noah Schultz is a top 50 prospect. And MLB Pipeline put out their top 10 left-handed prospects in baseball for 2024, kind of teasing their release of their full prospect list. And Noah Schultz is a top 5 left-handed pitching prospect, so we will talk about Noah Schultz's future with the Sox. Maybe a little bit, too, about him versus Garrett Crochet, and which will it be Wednesday? What will it be Wednesday?
It doesn't matter.
Come on, let's talk it out.
Yeah. Which will be higher, or what will be higher Wednesday?
This really isn't, zippy.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
It looked good. It looked good in print, in the text message.
Which will be Wednesday?
Which will be Wednesday? Boom. Perfect.
No?
What?
Yeah.
Wednesday will be Wednesday.
Okay, so just what about which will be?
No, which will be Wednesday?
We brand the segment which will be?
Or which Wednesdays? Which Wednesday?
It looked really good in the text message. I was like, ooh. Look at all them W's. That looks nice next to each other. And then you said it out loud, and I'm like, oh, boy, that is hard to get through.
Well, I don't know. We're going to try the bit
Yeah,
out.
which will be Wednesday. That's what I said.
Which will be Wednesday?
Yeah.
Which will be Wednesday? What will be Wednesday? What?
Question mark.
I think it maybe should be like
an air of mystery. I got to tune in.
Which will be, on Wednesday? Maybe it needs a...
Sarah's got the right idea.
Damn.
Sarah's giving us the moving along sound effect.
Okay, all right. Her speech is over. Noah Schultz is a tall left-handed pitcher. He's gotten a lot of rave from
6'9".
6'9".
So tall.
Yeah.
He's so tall and he throws so fast.
That's duck when you go through a doorway tall.
Yeah, that's like a foot taller than I am.
I had a moment on CHGO Bets earlier when I maybe cursed people who are tall.
Cause you put a whammy on them or something.
You're 6'7" or taller. That's annoying.
Not their fault.
That's fair.
Well, Sean, I'm right there with you. I hate when people brag about how tall they are, as if they had something to do with it. I'm 6'4". Did you do that? Did you grow yourself? Say hello and congratulations to your parents and your genes, but you didn't stretch yourself out, jerk. I'm 6'4".
Take my growing pills.
Somebody's like, well, you're just a short guy. That's what short people say. I'm average size, so shut up, people. 5'10".
Congrats.
Yeah.
We know you're tall, but you're 6'2".
6'3".
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry to.
I went and got the driver's license renewed this morning. So
wow.
I have that information right and ready to go.
Did you have your wife measure you?
Is it your birthday?
Before you went? So
No, my birthday is in a couple weeks.
Okay, you just do it early. You're responsible.
Yeah.
Responsible gentleman.
He is the most responsible one on this podcast.
Oh, not
I'm
even close.
5'6".
You're 5'6".
Uh-huh.
Okay, is that tall for?
That's like average size.
I was gonna say, isn't that average for a
American woman?
woman? Yeah.
I have no idea what the average height is.
I haven't grown. I've been the same height for a while now, though. I haven't. I'm.
Are you doing the Steve Miller one?
The Guess Who?
Or the Guess Who? Sorry, or the
that's a Guess Who song.
or
Lenny
the Lenny
Kravitz,
Kravitz one.
covered it. Yeah.
Okay.
American Woman.
Yeah, American Woman. That's what Herb said, so had to drop that in there.
Um,
I'm sure the podcast listeners, very easy to follow multiple conversations happening at once.
They're having a good time. They're enjoying the streams of consciousness that are going on in this episode. What, we're going to talk about a White Sox transaction that's not happening? They're in. They're already here.
Hey, we could talk about the one that might happen maybe one day. Oh, wait, we've done that mostly. For
Noah
the
Schultz
past
getting called up? Is
3
that
weeks.
getting us back on track?
No, I was
There you go.
referencing to Dylan Cease because, eventually he'll be traded. Maybe. Herb brought up pitchers and catchers report in less than a month, so thankfully we'll hopefully have something to talk about in a month.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, maybe free agents will sign. There's still 18 above average MLB players out there ready to sign for a new team in 2024. Noah Schultz. Hopefully he is like Randy Johnson, like Luke McDowell said. You don't see a lot of tall, flame-throwing starting pitchers. They have really two that have had true success as like velocity presence. It's Randy Johnson and J.R. Richard.
J.R. Richard.
Is it just J.R. Richard?
Yeah.
He's not French?
No.
Okay. Like those are the guys that really used their velocity and were dominant starters. Because like Chris Young was very tall.
And slow.
Yeah,
So
but
where
he
are
was
you cutting off tall here?
6'7" and
6'8".
above.
6'8" and taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very tall.
I mean,
Yeah.
Noah Schultz is uniquely very
He
tall.
is. That's true.
He was listed at 6'9", 220, and then there was a video that came out at spring training last year on the White Sox website where Noah Schultz talked, and he said he was up to 245 now. So I do wonder like where Schultz is like filled out to at this point because he's still 20. Like, it's insane that he's this young, and I didn't really realize how dominant he was last year in Kannapolis. He had 10 starts. Didn't pitch past 4 innings, so not a lot to get excited about. Only 27 innings of work. But in those 10 starts, he gave up a earned run in 1 of those starts. He had 1 outing against the Carolina Mudcats where he gave up 4 earned runs in 1 1/3. 5 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 strikeout, 3 home runs. He got absolutely tagged. Outside of that, dominant. Just
didn't give up anything.
Just didn't give up anything. Was rarely hit, rarely walked people, and he really started to find his stuff in August. 2 starts over 4 innings, 1 at 3 1/3, and then I think he started to run into the injury problems that slowed him down. So what do we make of Noah Schultz? What do we make of the excitement? Because we talked about his ranking yesterday at Baseball Prospectus. It was in the 50s, and now we see a top 50 ranking from Baseball America.
Well, listen, I mean, feel however you want to feel about prospect rankings, but the folks who put those things together usually know a whole lot more about minor league baseball players than we do, people who pay attention to the major league team on a regular basis. And so while, yes, it's very true that rankings do not equal future success, it's notable, and it's worth paying attention to, and it's worth bringing up, oh, this guy was ranked as this, because, when you can read off those stats, and then I can go, okay, well, that's low A. Let's pump the brakes. But there is very much a reason for the White Sox and for White Sox fans to be excited about Noah Schultz. There's a reason that they took him in the first round like they did. I believe that Mike Shirley, who's the head of amateur scouting for the White Sox, said as recently as this past summer when they were doing the 2023 draft about 2022 first-round pick Noah Schultz that they were lucky to even get him because he, I believe he had a bout of mono during his senior year in high school and wasn't necessarily as high on people's boards as he might have otherwise been. Fortunate to get him because he was right in their backyard pitching in Illinois. It kind of stars aligned. At least that's how the White Sox feel about getting a talent like Noah Schultz, and then he goes out and shows what that talent actually means, albeit at a very low level last year. I think the main thing to remember here is, what did you read off? 10 starts. That's it at low A. This guy has a long way to go. This guy has to build up a big-time innings base. They see him as a starting pitcher. They want him to be a starting pitcher. You named the show. Will he be their next ace? I think that's the hope, but it might not be for several years down the road because this guy, just like we talked about with Garrett Crochet, who obviously has a much different path, having been a Major League Baseball player already, he does not have the innings under him to say, I can go out and handle a very huge starter's workload. And I think that has to happen first. It's got to happen at the lower levels of the minor league system before it can then happen at the upper levels of the minor league system and eventually the major league level. So I think that you're going to see a lot of ratings that should get you, the White Sox fan, very excited for what this kid can do several years down the road. Keep in mind that it's going to be several years down the road.
Yeah, and the most impressive stat that I saw while looking up Noah Schultz's numbers is that he was 19 last year, and he faced 104 batters. He struck out 38 of those guys. He's almost 3 years younger than the average age in that league in Kannapolis, and he's already dominating people who might be 2, 3, 4 to 5 years older than him, just already having that filth as a 19-year-old, now is going to be a 20-year-old, or is a 20-year-old right now, is just astounding. But as Vinny says, he's years away. Kannapolis is low A for the White Sox, and so I would assume that he would probably start there or go up to high A this year. But as you were saying, Sean, not many innings on that arm as yet. They're trying to build him up from a high school prospect to being what the title is. Maybe an ace later on in the White Sox staff. Lord knows they need him, not just because they need any ace, but not a lot of lefties in the White Sox system and not a lot of lefties currently in the White Sox starting rotation. So if this guy can come and be just a dominant force in the years to come, I think we'll be looking forward to it. That sucks that we got years to go before we got to see this guy in a Major League uniform, but as the MLB thing goes, that's when you draft them, you wait for 3 to 4 years, especially when they are this young out of high school. So we knew this, and it's good to see that he's having success early in his career, and hopefully continues it.
I'd just like to see more of it. Like that's the thing is I reached out to Jarrett Seidler on Twitter, who was just answering questions about that Baseball Prospectus thing, their top 101 list, and I was just trying to maybe intimate without intimating, is there any worries about his health? And I was just like, what really stuck out about his, 27 innings, was it? Yeah, 27 innings. And he just said, very impressive. Like, it was a very short and sweet answer of just kind of wow. And you look at the numbers outside of that one start, in the nine starts where he didn't allow a run, 25 2/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 6 walks, 37 Ks. He seems like a major league pitcher already. He just doesn't have the body, and he doesn't have the load, the workload yet. You bring up the mono bout. I think he said he pitched 4 innings, then got mono, missed 8 months, came back and pitched like 2 more innings. So in his senior year, he pitched like 8 innings. So his senior year, he pitched 8 innings. Then he pitched in summer league with Illinois Valley, 19 1/3 innings. And then in A-ball, he pitches 27 innings.
He's barely pitched.
He's barely pitched over 100 innings over the past 3 years. That's a major concern. And when you do have guys of this height, I mean, you see it in basketball all the time. You could see Zach Edey. Zach Edey, the best thing about Zach Edey is he stayed healthy. It's very difficult to be that tall and to keep up your health and to effectively keep on muscle. So I think it's really promising that he added 25 pounds. Hopefully you're continuing to see that growth. But you go to his Instagram page, he still looks like a stick. He's 245 pounds. You'd think that he'd be this huge, muscly. He's
20 years old.
Right. He's wiry. He's thin. So hopefully you see that development, you see that growth, you see that filling out that is necessary for him to become a starter. But again, the actual pitcher, the actual stuff, he seems disgusting. High 95, and with that extension, it's probably feeling like 105. You have that slider that it really does look like it just drops off from a really unique angle, like Chris Sale. We know he's been effective. Again, the only guy that's really similar from the left-handed side that this tall, that throws this hard, is Randy Johnson. I know it's, again, pretty tough comp. It's like comparing Eduardo Herrera to Albert Pujols. Hey, maybe let's slow it down a little bit. But even if he's like half or like, 75% of what Randy Johnson is, that could be an ace.
That plays.
Right?
Well, that's one of the, one of the 10 best pitchers ever, maybe. So, yeah.
Right. Again, it's exciting stuff, and it's just, if we see, even if it's 100 innings in A-ball or advanced A or double A, like, let's just see innings. That's the most important thing about Noah Schultz. I don't care if he goes out and has a
failure. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
An 0.95 ERA or has a 5 ERA. Let's just see some innings.
We'll find out more, here in the next month or so what the plan is for Noah Schultz this year. But I would have to imagine that they would be perfectly fine with him staying at single A all year if he pitches a whole year at single A, right? Because not only are you talking about a guy who's barely pitched, we haven't even really brought up the fact that he's been hurt and he's had some injuries to deal with too. Again, we talk about that all the time at the major league level with guys who are still we're still waiting for at the major league level on the White Sox to see them string an entire healthy season together. It's not like it's not a challenge, and for this kid, he needs to do it at a much lower level, but he needs to just do it for the first time ever, really. I mean, we talked about Garrett Crochet the other day, right? This is a guy who has stayed healthy one time in since he's become a pro, and even if you go back to what wasn't his fault, the pandemic shortened, the effect that the pandemic had on the end of his collegiate career. But this is a guy who just has basically not put together an entire season of baseball, and outside of the 1 year that he spent in the bullpen, and now we have nothing but questions as to how that's going to line up for him. Certainly, he's 2 years ahead of Noah Schultz from an age or from a draft standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. So Noah Schultz just has to put together some time because fewer than 30 innings, not eclipsing 4 innings in any one outing. Those are some real small first baby steps, and that's what I'm saying is that, like, get excited. You have every reason to get excited because of the stuff and what they've been able to do in limited action, but it might be a while because he's got a lot more steps to take.
Right. I think it is promising that we did see 2 outings of 4 innings. Like, maybe there is something to build off for the starting pitching side of that. But again, it's just 27 innings. Like, it is really tough to get excited about. Dealt with forearm strain in April and then shoulder impingement that ended his season in August. So not major injuries that needed surgery, which is thankful, but you look at the way he delivers, and when his front foot hits, it does feel like his arm drags behind a little bit, and I don't know if that's leading to issues. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pitching coach. I'm as novice as it gets, folks. But it does look a little bit funky, and it probably is funky to be 6'9" and throw a baseball.
And the body has a lot to do with it. I remember back, when I worked on the website over at NBC Sports Chicago, we'd have to pull up all the pictures, just like Sarah does for the images that we use on our podcast and stuff. And the pictures of Chris Sale pitching, like, it looks like that's not how a body is supposed to work. Yeah. There are and certainly there are angles in which every pitcher in baseball would look like that because a body's not really supposed to be doing that with a baseball. But Chris Sale, particularly because of the way he was built and the way he delivered the ball, it looked almost frightening when you saw it in a still image form. And some of these guys who have similar bodies, that lanky type, the skinny type, they might be having a similar thing. And Noah Schultz could be one of those guys where you just look at it and you're like, man, he's doing a really good job, but that is not what the human body was designed to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't teach what Chris Sale does. That's one of one. He does it, and that's why the White Sox got him, I think, in 13th overall, because the stuff was great. He was awesome in college. And people were just worried about him eventually having Tommy John and being injured all the time. His White Sox career, he was pretty healthy. I mean, his Red Sox career was mired with a bunch of injuries, but to ask any damn Red Sox fan, they loved what Chris Sale did for them, especially when he closed out that game in 2018. But if Noah Schultz is half of what Chris Sale was as a White Sox, I'll take that.
Yeah, I don't think that Chris Sale is going to look back at his career and regret the 1,500 innings that he did pitch. It definitely worked for him. And
he had to advocate for himself. I remember Kenny and other people wanted to put him in the bullpen to save himself from himself, and he was like, F all that garbage. I'm a starter. I'm taking the ball every fifth. And he proved to him right, and he proved himself, and he advocated for himself to be right because they wanted to just, slow him down. And he's like, no, F all that. I'm pitching. I'm a pitcher. I'm a starter, and I'll be fine.
Advocated for not wearing those jerseys, too.
Hey, it worked.
It did work. The one guy, and I wish KPW was in here, Toronton friend. Is that Toronton?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
All right.
It might be Torontoan.
Torontoan.
Like Chicagoan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could probably look that up. It could be similar to Nate Pearson. He's 6'6", Toronto Blue Jays prospect, and he hit as high as 7 pre-2020 in Baseball America. He hit 7 and then 8 on MLB Pipeline.
Surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Me either.
Torontonian.
Yes.
Oh. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Fancy
interesting.
Torontonians.
Torontonian. That sounds like somebody that the Enterprise encounters on Star Trek.
They might. I think there's a joke that Tracy Jordan tells on 30 Rock that the only race that's not included in Star Trek is Puerto Ricans. So,
so they've met the Torontonians.
Yeah, so they met the Torontonians is what I'm trying to say. Nate Pearson was 28th overall in the first round of the 2017 MLB draft. He pitched 33 and a third innings in 2016, 20 innings in 2017, 20 and a third innings in 2018, and then 2019 ramped up to 2019. But he's dealt with several injuries that have kind of held him back from becoming a starter. He has reached the major leagues, but he hasn't really built a ton of innings, only reaching 42 and 2/3 innings pitched just last year, and he's dealt with shoulder impingement as well. So just, knock on wood, hopefully it's not detrimental to Noah Schultz's career, and we can see some growth and some building in his professional career, because again, he's only 20.
Yeah, and for young pitchers, I always think, they're due to have some type of arm issues, as it's shown to be with most pitchers. And I assume that, that forearm strain last year gave people some concern, because I think it's just a matter of time before a hard thrower, especially a high school thrower, going from the level you pitch in high school to being a professional, it's a different game. And so I just expect something to go wrong with his arm, but also the Tommy John surgery and all the things that have come since Tommy John had that surgery are so advanced that, it's only 12 months out of your year. So even if he does have some injury concerns in his years to come, I think the kid will still be fine, because he just has a innings base a filth base, and as you said, the ball is just getting on these hitters. Striking out 38 grown men and 104 times is a impossible thing to do, and he's a child, an actual child. Like, he went to prom last year, like out here in Oswego. I wonder if he's watching. I wonder if he's out here in Oswego right now, just kicking it.
I think he's probably doing
or he moved to Florida or moved to Arizona.
I mean, you can get our show in Arizona just as easily as you can in Oswego.
You can.
But you got a Torontonian that watches.
But he can come to the studio, though. We won't have any shares for him because he's too tall.
Who? Noah Schultz.
Noah Schultz? No. You just have to stand up.
We're not having tall people on staff. Chris Pennett's tall. You're 6'3", but I'm saying, like...
He's like, what am I, chopped liver? I'm 6'3".
Taller, my bad. All right, we'll take a break. I'm trying to look into where Noah Schultz ranks all-time in K per 9 in the Carolina League. Since 2006, Fangraphs has tracked stats from A-Ball in K per 9 for at least 20 innings pitched, 152nd all-time. So that's pretty good. Top 200.
As Matthew Cortese says, we're going to have the tallest pitcher staff in the majors and a good basketball team, because Colson Montgomery, the guy we talked about yesterday, all-state basketball player in Indiana before he left.
Because they're tall.
They're tall, but we got our point guard at 6. What is Colson Montgomery, like 6'6" himself?
I don't know. We got the Dodgers have Ohtani and Mookie Betts. Those are just natural athletes.
Mookie Betts is like 5'3".
He's like a perfect bowler. I mean, you think
not basketball player though? Was dominated.
You think he can't spin a basketball?
Toss his shit in the fucking and
knock it off.
You think Ohtani can play basketball?
Time to pull
dude.
The curtains back and enter ComEd Theater with my 2 favorite actors, Herb Lawrence and Vinnie Duber. Take it away, gentlemen.
It is getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of our planet and the well-being of all of us who share it.
Great point, Herb. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence toward an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should businesses do, Vinny?
That's a great question, Herb. They should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. They're good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
Herb, I'm surprised you had to ask because you're sitting 1 foot away from me. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Gentlemen, are you ready to sing?
Yes.
588-2300 Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats, but Empire can't be beaten on their quality, service, and speed. So competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. Empire keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection that you could see with their virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how new floors will look in any space, and who doesn't love a fun little website? You know? You just snap a little picture, upload your room to the little virtual floor designer. You get to see, ooh, there's a dark wood. Ooh, there's a light wood. Ooh, there's a carpet. I've never actually used it, but I'm assuming. This is assumptions.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
I rent, so I can't.
You aim your phone at it.
But you can. If you own a house, you can snap a picture and instantly see how new floors will look in your room. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/CHGO for details. Again, use promo code CHGO over at EmpireToday.com/CHGO and to receive a $350 off discount.
You know what we should do? We should use the virtual floor design tool on guaranteed rate field. Cover the whole field in flooring.
That's pretty good.
Cover the whole thing in a nice nice tile, a nice laminate, a nice carpeting.
Mm-hmm. We should do this for maybe not just guaranteed rate field, but since we're CHGO Sports, maybe we should do it for every
arena
center.
Sure.
I mean,
the United Center already has. They have original hardwood flooring. You don't usually want to rip that out, but
I mean, when they put the ice on it, it would be funny if we put wood on top of the ice. I know they already do that, but like Empire would.
Yeah.
Not basketball.
Or see what it would look like with like shag carpeting.
Yeah, right. That'd be fun.
Godfather would be very mad. He's like, take that shit off my thing immediately.
It's digital. It's digital, Roger. I promise.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Guaranteed Rate Field has never held the Winter Classic.
It hasn't.
Right? I think Soldier Field did it.
Soldier Field hosted Wrigley. The Stadium Series. Wrigley Field hosted the Winter Classic proper. I don't know I'm not up to date on my hockey, how many outdoor games they have per year now, but obviously the Winter Classic. For a while they went crazy. There was like 10 outdoor games in 1 year.
And then like in Minnesota, it was like way too hot. And it was like, oh, no, this is not a great thing. It's like global warming's happening, so it's kind of tough to have them and schedule them. You can have them now.
The Soldier Field one was cool, though. It was snowing, remember?
Did you go to any of these?
I did not go, but I watched it on TV. Okay. But it was like March 1st or something like that, and it was pouring snow. Like it was, the game was a mockery, probably, if memory serves, because it was covered. The ice was covered in snow.
Yeah, they put the Penguins.
Yeah.
I've never understood going to a cold weather game. It's never been my thing.
No, I went to one Bears-Broncos game in November with my mom. A great game. Hester returned a punt. It was a comeback. I think it was either Orton or probably Orton. Orton led a comeback. very good game. 27-24. I think Cutler was on the other side the year before he was traded. But I think it was 17 degrees, and I was freezing.
Yeah.
I needed a hot chocolate. And my mom was like, I'm not moving. But, you know, I didn't choose to be birthed, so she went and got me a hot chocolate. All right, hit that thumbs up button. Jared liked the earlier part with Sarah hitting our sound or hitting the 60 seconds earlier. So if you have been enjoying, hit the thumbs up button. All right, Herb, let's try this effing segment.
Yeah.
Which will be Wednesday. We need to go get our own big voice guy.
Yeah.
I think a graphic would be helpful because then you could put like which will be in quotes or something, and then it doesn't sound like a sentence.
We're workshopping this to see if we're going to be doing it again. So this might be the first and last. Grand opening, grand closing. We'll see.
I think it's a good bit.
Yeah.
I like the bit. To build off the Noah Schultz conversation, Blake Name's saying I think Schultz is only going to get better given his frame. My only worry is, will the frame lead to injuries, right? Like the stuff seems fine. I think he could just pitch in the major leagues tomorrow and be a handful for major league batters.
I'm not a person who knows about these things, but is a taller person, is it harder for that person to repeat the mechanics because of the longer levers?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a thing.
That's always been described as a difficulty is repetition of motion. But I mean, that's another big thing is you see that with Cole Ragans from the Royals. Like, I think a big thing that he's done is gone to Tread Athletics, and they do a lot of biomechanical work where they put all the little video game dots on you and then see how your body is
turn him into the
growing.
Hulk?
Right. Tom House was like big into this with the 80s, and now it's just kind of built larger and larger, and I think it's more just understanding how your body works and maximizing the mechanics to max efficiency levels. So, I mean, that could be part of Noah Schultz's offseason work now on, you know, maybe adjusting the way that he does deliver the ball to increase effective or not effectiveness, but efficiency, and maybe a better release point to, you know, improve repeatability and also to increase durability.
And I hope he's staying in Chicago so he can get some of that delicious food to get some of that weight on his body too. Because
it's not a problem. You can take a look across the panel here and
you're good.
Know that there's
You're
plenty.
Fine. You both are fine.
Just take. Whoa, hey,
you both are fine.
I felt fine.
You both are
Jeez, God, all
you
right.
you both are fine.
Thanks,
All right,
Herb.
skinny guys over here.
I think everyone's beautiful.
Thank you, Sarah. Take a page out of Mark Burley's book and have a beer or two or four.
I'm not trying to say that it's shameful. I'm just saying I have evidence that I know that you can eat your way to a higher weight total in this town.
I know.
Wasn't it like Chris Sale eating like 6,000 calories a day, and he still was a stick figure? Like, he just was, you know, some people just don't put on weight. I hope he's not one of those people because, yeah, weight does mean something, especially that lower posterior. That booty and those thighs need to be right. You could be taller or skinny up top, but that booty and those thighs got to be a little bit in shape.
I'd hate if Noah Schultz was like us Andersons. All of us, from me to my dad to my uncle to my grandpa, all have a ton of belly fat. You know, we hold it in our guts. So hopefully, you know, he holds it in his legs, like you're saying. All right, what the hell is this podcast? Let's move on. We just don't want to do the which will be.
No, I'm very excited to do the segment. It's just confusing to say.
Which will be Wednesday. First up, more starts in 2024. Garrett Crochet or Noah Schultz? Schultz made 6 in the Summer League ball in the Illinois Valley. He made 10 last year with Kannapolis. Who will make more starts?
Level independent. We're not talking about major league starts.
The stat on Baseball Reference, GS.
Okay.
Who will it be more in 2024? Which will be more? Garrett Crochet or Noah Schultz?
That's a good question.
As I've talked about with the lower body, Garrett Crochet has that lower body, and that will allow him to pitch more starts than Noah Schultz. Mostly because Garrett Crochet is older in the game. He's more established, and the White Sox want him to be pitching more starts than what Noah Schultz will be because, I mean, he's had injury problems, and now it's going to be his real first full major league, or not major league, a professional season for Noah Schultz. I'm sure they're not going to be saying, hey, here's 25 starts. On the other hand, Garrett Crochet might be getting 25 starts via the minors and maybe some major league action. So I think that it'll be Garrett Crochet that will have more GSs by his name than Noah Schultz.
It's a good question. I think the more interesting probably stat category would be innings pitched, right? And I think Crochet probably wins there just because, I don't know, I would think that there would still be maybe some tentativeness. Maybe, I don't know this for a fact, but I would just speculate maybe some tentativeness on the organization's part to not run Noah Schultz into the ground, right? Really really monitor and really make sure that this is just the next step, not necessarily all right, you don't have any innings on your arm, so cut it loose and we'll see what happens. I mean, I would think that they would want him to stay healthy, that they would want him to be working on specific things, that they wouldn't mind taking him out after 5 innings, literally every time out maybe this year. So I'm going to go ahead and say Garrett Crochet just because I think they're trying to ramp him up. They're trying to get him going. And not only that, if there is a success at the minor league level with Garrett Crochet doing this, there's no reason he can't come up to the majors and try doing it in the majors. He's already faced major league pitching. As long as they believe that he is stretched out to where he can go out there every time and give them 6 innings, let's say, then maybe come August, come September, we are seeing him as a major league starter. So again, there's qualifiers because he too is coming off a very unhealthy season. You don't want to just burn him out either. But I'm going to go ahead and say Crochet just because I could see him being allowed to push it more than Schultz. That's what I would say.
That's fair. And I do. Did you feel like Chris Getz made it feel like this was more Garrett's idea, or did you feel like I mean, obviously it wasn't Chris Getz saying that they're not going to do it. It felt like he was pro this move to Garrett becoming a starter. But, you know, come April, if he has a bad spring training, do they commit to the idea? I guess that's why I wanted to
at this point, yes.
Make game starts.
I think at this point, yes. I think he would. I don't think Chris comes out and says he's going to be working as a starter here. He would say there's a chance we could give him some multi-inning things, and maybe he could work his way into a starting role here and there if it works out. You know what I mean? I think it would be a little bit more, judicious maybe in terms of his language. I think at this point they're going to go down the starter path and see where it takes them. I don't think you pull the plug on that project just after spring training, if spring training goes poorly, because I don't think you can make an argument that you've sufficiently built him up and saw that it failed, right? Yeah. So I think now, granted, I get what you're saying. Is there greater risk to letting him go and then at the end it doesn't work and now you've got to retool all over again? But I think that at this point, judging by what Chris said, recently, I think that he's going to be a starter, and I think he probably starts the season as a minor league starting pitcher.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think if he does fail in spring training, that's 100% going to make them send him down to the minor leagues and allow him to be a starter. Because if he does well in the major league spring training, I would think they'd be like, we kind of need him up here. And that type of pitching is good for us up in the major league club. But if he struggles down in the Arizona air and the breaking ball's not working, people are like, well, it's just Arizona. So you're probably going to be good when you're down in Birmingham or Charlotte, so you'll be a little bit better. So I think that he'll be more likely to be a minor leaguer if he does struggle in spring training. And struggle, put those in quotes too. Through
only 25 innings last year, I think there's got to be the building of a base, and two, the big gain from this is they don't need him up at the major league level. I mean, if he is one of their best 5 pitchers, I think it would be a huge boost to the organization to keep him in the minors for a year because it doesn't build service time. Like,
sure. I mean he's already been here. He's already spent 3 years as a Major League Baseball player.
Right, but then you get if he is a starter and you are able to successfully build a base of 100 innings and give him the chance to be a Major League starter in 2025, you will get and if you are trying to make this as advanced as possible, I think the 100 innings is going to be so much more valuable if he doesn't have to worry about the actual competition and can just go out and, have those innings.
That is
true.
And
then two, you have him from 2025 to 2028 or 2027. Does it go 2025, 2026, 2027? Yeah. And he's a free agent, I think.
He was arbitration eligible this year.
Oh, so his first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that it's probably I think Crochet makes more starts. I think he has a similar rollout as Schultz did, where Schultz pitched an inning, then he pitched an inning, then he pitched 2 innings, then he pitched 2 innings. Like, I think they'll slowly build him up.
And you can do that in the minor leagues.
To
Who
3
cares,
or 4.
right? Yeah.
Right. And I think the whole thing will be by probably mid-May or June, he's going 5 innings, right? And I think he's a guy that they absolutely cut off, because you don't want to overwork a guy that's only eclipsed 60 innings at most in a season in his career, and that's college. So, of course, he's going to be dominant, and of course, like, he could come up to the major league level, because he did pitch 12 innings last year in the minor leagues, split between Charlotte and Birmingham. He did have a 4.38 ERA. He also had a 17.5 K per 9.
Decent.
So
That works.
You know, he hits outs in his 6 innings at Charlotte, 6 1/3 innings at Charlotte, 13 strikeouts, 2 walks. So the effectiveness isn't really the question. It's just, can you throw 5 innings? And that's going to be a lot easier of a goal to do in the minor leagues. This isn't a player that's questioning, am I good enough? It's, can I be a starter? And I think having a full 2024 to be a starter in the minor leagues, facing, you know, worse competition, can only build confidence. So I don't expect him to be on the 2025 roster. I think he likely makes more starts than Schultz, just because, again, you got to protect Schultz more, and Crochet's 24. He's that weird tall freak that's gone through the 4 extra years of strength training and professional building of his body. Schultz, obviously, as we've said, he's got a long way to go. So I'll take Crochet on that question.
So you would keep him down in the minor leagues no matter the success or failure? It's probably smart. I mean, it's going to be hard for the White Sox to do that. If they're seeing good numbers down there in the minor leagues.
Why, though? What is he like?
Well, it's about earning.
If they're you know, in second place by the trade deadline, sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's out there,
if
just
they're on track to lose 100 games again, no way.
He's out there doing that Charlotte thing, that brief stint that he had in Charlotte, and extrapolating that to a half of the season. I'm like, yeah, that could be working here in the major leagues. So let's bring him up here.
I'm sure
no one in the major leagues is stopping him from being up here.
I'm sure they're embarking on this plan with milestones in mind, with things that they want to see, and with the idea of, hey, show us X, Y, and Z, and we'll bring you to the major leagues. But also, hey, no pressure to get to that point. Just show us what you can do, and that you can do what you say you can do.
And I'm not against him being in the minor. I would actually, that's preferred for me, for him to be in the minor leagues the whole year and have success or failure, and just be a starter the whole year, and then reassess at the end of the year to see in 2025 if we're going forward, are you a starter for the White Sox or are you a reliever for the White Sox?
It's got to be what's best for the player at this point, because, I mean, Garrett Crochet is not going to be the one guy that defines the 2024 26-man Chicago White Sox roster to make them a competitor. Like, I think the best thing that Garrett clearly wants is to be a starter. So I think the best thing for his starter turn is to, you know, go be a starter and just to get that experience down in the minors. All right, let's move on to the next question. Which will be more Wednesday? More days until TA signs, or home runs by Yoan Moncada in 2024? Herb, you asked the question, so I will have you answer.
Yeah, I think, and I said a major league contract too for Tim Anderson. I think he's going to get signed, of course, but we're late into the free agency.
He's not getting a minor league deal. He's not that washed.
He's not, but he had a horrid year, and you would think somebody with his resume would already had some type of deal already lined up for him.
Paul DeYoung got a major league contract.
I understand that early because of his defense plays. Maybe people think that Tim is washed. People think that Tim can't hit and he's a terrible fielder. Why would they give a major league contract to him? I would give one to him, but it's been going on for this long. I would say, spring training is like 28 days away. Will he sign before that? Probably. So I would say it's going to be Yoan Moncada by a hair. I think Yoan Moncada is going to hit like 19 home runs this year, and Tim's probably going to be signed within the next 19 days.
You're asking me which is the bigger number?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which will be more? That's the.
Did you want to say Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday.
The TA number will be bigger, I think, because listen, you're talking about pitchers and catchers reporting 28 days from now, which Tim Anderson does not play one of those two positions. So add another week to that, another 6 or 7 days to that in terms of full camp workouts. When did the White Sox sign Elvis Andrus last year? Their everyday second baseman from the second they signed him. When did they sign him? On the day of the first full squad workout. And that was in an offseason where a lot of other business got done well before spring training started, well before or at a pace well greater than the business is getting done this offseason, where you still got so many big-name players unsigned. I think this is just one of those years where free agency in general stretches on, and I think Tim Anderson will get a major league contract. There's no doubt that even if he's not all the way right, even if he's just a percentage of the way right, he's one of the 30 best shortstops in baseball from an offensive and all-around standpoint. TA will be somebody's everyday shortstop, but I don't think he's going to get signed until right near the start of spring training, maybe even a little after. We'll see, just because we've seen teams say, it's okay, we'll wait. We'll wait a week into spring training, and someone will show up, and they're a veteran, and they'll just go hit. What does it matter? They don't need to be here from the jump. So I say that's a bigger number. Also because then we're getting into the point of, over more than 30 days. Do I think Yoan Moncada is going to hit 30 home runs this year? History would say no. So I'll go ahead and say the TA number is going to be the bigger one.
What history are you looking at, Vinny?
His entire career of single-season home run numbers.
So I was supposed to move this to the back, but I mean, we're filling up time pretty decently so far. Do you remember what happened from August 8th to September 30th?
I do, because I'm sure I wrote about it.
Did you?
Yes.
I mean, do you remember the 20 extra base hits that Yoan Moncada had in his 48 hits? His .316 batting average, his .358 on base percent, his .553 slugging, his .911 OPS. We always hear about healthy off seasons. Went into the offseason healthy.
This is what it's like, people, to watch the tables turn. Sean predicting a big Moncada season, and Herb just sitting there being like, not so sure.
Yeah, what about the home runs, though?
Which will be more Wednesday, but this was from the past.
Yeah, what was like three home runs?
From August 8th to September 30th.
That includes several Wednesdays.
Who had a higher percentage of barrels per batted ball, Austin Riley or Yoan Moncada?
Context clues, Yoan Moncada.
Well, context clues, I knew that you used
them. Double cross.
They're tied.
Oh.
Okay. 16.2.
So there's no winning that
question.
one.
Yes.
16.2, they led the third base position for nearly 600 pitches for Moncada, 886 pitches for Riley, a large sample size. Moncada had 8 home runs. Riley had 11. Moncada, I think, was, tied for third with Max Muncy and Royce Lewis at the third base position for home runs from that August 8th to September 3rd date. Only Riley and Cabrian Hayes were better. Moncada was nearly a 7 batter run value in those August 8th to September 30th. I think that the TA number will be bigger.
Okay.
So I think it's 35, and Yoan Moncada will not hit 35 home runs. But if Yoan Moncada signs within the week,
or Tim Anderson, rather.
Or Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
If Tim Anderson signs within the week, within the next 2 weeks, I'd even say 3 weeks. I think I might take Yoan Moncada. I think Yoan Moncada could hit 25 homers. So
He can.
I mean, if he doesn't sign,
I definitely think he'll hit 15.
I would
this
hope
is a contract year. I mean, this is coming up to a contract year, right? Is this a
Not
contract
really.
year?
I think they have
Not really,
a team
because there's an option for 25.
Which they're going to say, hell no.
Yeah, so
but
it
I
is
mean,
a
you're going to
contract
want
year.
that $20-something million, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you're
but it's a
playing
club
for
option.
that.
Yeah,
right.
He's playing for that, or
Yeah.
he's playing for the next contract.
But you'll have to have a giant year in order to get that picked up.
30 home runs is a giant year.
And even
Yeah, it is.
then, people are like, well, it's a contract year. You just did it for getting a second contract.
Yeah, but if you let's put it this way, he would have to be good enough that he's getting 24 this year.
Yes.
That jumps
Yes.
up to 28?
25.
25 and 25. You're going to have such a big year that picking that up is a bargain. Just like we talked about with Tim Anderson, right?
Yeah.
But Tim Anderson had the worst year of his career.
Oh, my God.
I mean, but also we've seen their budget go down from 180 to 125. Moncada's 25 million is already a part of that. If they are going for it, and Moncada's looking like a top 10 third baseman, I mean, there's no risk in picking up the club option.
It's a big if.
It's a huge
if they're going for it. We don't
Yeah,
know
but,
if they're.
and-
We don't know if a year from
No,
now they're going to
I
be
know,
going for
and
it.
plus
Right.
he might be blocking Montgomery.
Exactly. I was going to say Montgomery's down the pipeline. Ramos down the pipeline. I think this is Yoan Moncada's last year as the Chicago White Sox, any way you put it.
I agree. Still might hit. I think he hits 20. Luke, I won $100 against her betting against Benintendi hitting homers. I think Moncada will hit 20.
Oh my God.
At least in 2024. I think so. I mean, he hit 8 in like a month and a half.
Yeah. We've seen
That's
this.
a pretty good head start.
We've seen this.
I
We've seen the beginning of last year, too, when he was 2 home runs in Houston. I was like, all right, here we go. Moncada time.
Right, I know, but he just needs. But then he got hurt, right, within like 10 days. No, I know you're saying that. I know, but
year.
like, what if Wednesday, Herb? Okay.
If he gets healthy, I guess so.
All right, let's take a break.
I love Yoan Moncada. You know me. I love him. That's my man.
You love Yoan Moncada, and you love Yoan Moncada so much you pay money on GameTime to go watch Yoan Moncada, huh?
I do, always. Oh, I thought that was the Midtown read, not the Game Time read.
No, I'm sorry. It was GameTime. Herb.
Yeah.
My bad.
I fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can do it. No worries.
Let me find it.
I got it right here. I found it already. You know what's frustrating, Herb? When you
I
can't
don't.
find the game time read. Also, when you can't find seats that are, good enough. Maybe they're not the right price. Maybe they're not the right spot. Game Time has tons of options. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event.
Look at
Game
some of
Time
those.
is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Sarah's showing off the Chicago Blackhawks and Islander tickets over at the United
Go
Center.
back to the one that was
on Friday.
$17.
You can go to see the Wild and the Island and the Blackhawks for $18.
$20.
How about
that?
That's on Wednesday, the 7th. Hey, maybe
That is a good seat.
Maybe a week before Valentine's Day, you take your partner out and go see a really bad Blackhawks team.
I mean, Connor
for
Bedard will be
18
back sooner than you think. It was say 4 to 6 weeks. He looks like he's coming back on the 4 part. So go to Game Time right now and get you some seats before Connor comes back on a discount.
Right, and you also got a ton of flash deals that you could see on the screen. You got some verified sellers as well.
Wow, it even shows you where the home team shoots on that side twice.
Nice.
When you show the event.
Very neat. Game Time is the fastest. I already said that. They have killer last-minute deals, all in prices, views from your seats, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. So check out Game Time. They have deals right up to the start of the event. So if you are kind of, deciding what to do on Friday, maybe buy last-minute tickets to go see the Islanders and Blackhawks at the United Center. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
So that is a discount code for $20 off, and we just showed you tickets that cost $17.
Right, so that's kind of buy one, get one. A little BOGO.
How about that?
A little BOGO. All right, want to let you know about our friends over at Ray Auto as well. Okay, making sure which one it was. Our friends over at Ray Auto for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you. Our partner, Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake, is they're starting their Ray Resolution with Start Something New sales event. And did you know what that means? It means that you'll be able to shop incredible savings on every new vehicle in stock because they want to clear the lot to make rooms for brand new 2024 vehicles. For a limited time, get up to $9,000 off on new Jeep models with dealer discounts. And that's not all. Shop their last call on remaining 2023 Dodge Challenger and Charger models, including Hellcats, Scat Packs, and more. Dodge is the most powerful muscle car brand, so you don't want to miss out on their last call with over 20 Dodge muscle cars to choose from. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to Ray's Price Promise. Fans can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr.com/service. That's raycdjr.com/service, but you have to schedule it before January 31st. If you are in the new market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them on Route 12 today in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
That will be a wild storyline this year that I don't think I've entirely thought about until right now.
Yep.
Moncada, 2025 club option for $25 million. Eloy, 2025 club option for $16.5 million. But like you just said, those guys' contracts are currently part of the payroll that's been cut by $50 million to this point. If they finally do it, if they finally put it together, that's a big. Those are two pretty expensive decisions, and because here's the thing: Tyrell brings up a hypothetical here. If Moncada hits 300 with 30 homers, 90 RBIs, and suggests that they'll decline the club option, if he does that, they're picking up the club option. 30 homers, 90 ribbies. Also, that means the White Sox scored a lot more runs than we thought they were going to.
Oh, my God.
Well, hey, it probably just means that Benintendi got on base.
It just probably means that Luis Roberts hurt or somebody else is hurt. Like, because if he does this, like, something else is going to happen.
Okay.
I would love for that to happen, but it would be, as you said, Vinny. It's like just a bad thing. Like, if they have a great year, then you got to pick up that option. Then you know the possibility of them having another bad year next year and or getting hurt is always in the cards. So that's why I would be like, hey, man, you had a great year and somebody else going to pay you. You got to go to the other team. I can't do this every year.
That's wild, though. You can't do that, right? You can't have if that's the kind of season that gets put up. If he's receiving MVP votes and you just say nah, no thanks.
Oh, you got it. No, you got to pick him up.
Oh,
if he hits 30 home runs,
but
it's not hard.
But
because no,
it's not. But the thing is, like, they've shown that they're in a different mode now. They've showed that they want to move on from from this era. You know, they're just saying no goodbye to Tim Anderson to save $14 million. Like, what state is the team in a year from now? Again, you're right. If he does that, you can't say no, you can't decline it.
Right.
But Herb's exactly right too. There's a risk there in that your plan maybe has changed, or it's totally. I just don't know what to expect.
Jack, though, because Chris Getz is saying that he might play left field, right field, first base. So no, but you say but what if Andrew Vaughn has a horrible April and May? Colson Montgomery's tearing the ball off at Charlotte. No. Colson Montgomery comes up in June to play third base, and Yoan Moncada moves over to first base.
No, it's not going to happen. I don't think they're going to move off of Andrew Vaughn that quickly at all. I think Andrew Vaughn's here to stay. He's young in his career, and I think they believe in him. And to move Yoan Moncada on his last year of a deal, even if he's hitting 330 home runs, would be kind of weird too. And I think you're wasting Yoan Moncada's one of his greatest strengths is his glove. And you just put him at first base, I think it's kind of wasted there.
But if he's a good first baseman, he's a good first baseman. I mean, I get your point.
Yeah.
If you get rid of Moncada's salary and Eloy's salary, this still includes Maldonado. He's not maybe long for the team. It also includes Cease's $8 million, and we obviously know that he probably won't be around. But this is just a tentative. If you took out Moncada, $24 million, soon to be $25, and then Eloy's $13 million, soon to be $16 million. The payroll would be at $85 million,
which it won't be.
In what way?
You think they'd take the field with an $85 million payroll?
Yeah,
that's Oakland A's business right there.
Not really. I mean, the $85 million still I think top 15. A lot of. Is it?
No, it's not close. They were top 15 last year with $181 million.
$85 million is like Pirates Marlins territory. Come on.
League average is 153.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. It is Rays and Marlins.
Yeah.
25 teams spent over $100 million. That even
so
includes
the five that didn't.
Can you name
A's,
them?
Rays, Guardians.
No. Not the Guardians.
Really?
Because of Ramirez.
Yeah, they're at 102.
So A's, Rays, Pirates.
Yes.
Reds?
Rays, Marlins, Pirates, A's.
Oh, Marlins are in there. I didn't guess them. Okay.
No, you said Marlins originally.
Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So one more team.
One more team that didn't spend last
They spent
year.
$75.9 million.
Did we say the Royal? You already said them. Okay.
Yeah, you said the Royals. Royals spent money.
Let's go with the Brewers?
No. Sarah, you got the ticker thing again?
The 60 minutes?
I'm gonna make this painful.
The Nats.
No.
Oh.
D-backs.
Nope.
I don't even know. Another team.
This is great radio.
No, they spent a bunch on Chris Bryant.
How about the Baltimore Orioles?
The Baltimore Orioles. So not only do
spend some goddamn money, Baltimore.
So two of the teams that didn't spend $100 million last year were the two best teams in the American League, and one of the other ones made the playoffs in the National League.
Yeah. So, Jerry's like, hey.
3 of the 5.
3 of the 5 teams were 3 of the 5 lowest payrolls in baseball made the playoffs.
Jerry's like, hey, look at those Padres and Mets spending all that money. Well, these 3 teams out of the bottom 5 made the playoffs. Yep. That's what I want to be.
What he couldn't do was actually like type an asterisk when he said, I want to do it as quick as possible to you guys. He also put an asterisk after as quick as possible, the asterisk meaning and cheap as possible.
Hey, you guys are joking, but I do think that what you just said is as good of an example as anything, that those things don't correlate with each other. You just have to have a good team.
You just need Brian Bannister. That's all,
you
folks.
You just have to have a good team.
All right.
And the Orioles had to lose on purpose for years and years in order to get there. But the Rays have figured out a way to, with their devil magic, they got rid of the word devil in their name and turned it into the magic that gets them to the playoffs every year. Yeah, I mean, hey, I always say there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to make the playoffs.
Again, stop doing that to cats. Do we want to do any more? Which will it be Wednesday? Do we save it? I mean, we've gone an hour already.
We're already at an hour.
I guess we can go to 5:30.
Well, no, we're good.
This way we already have banked items for which will it be next Wednesday.
And the Bears won't start their season, so we'll save that. Kopech won't make.
There's a Bears one. Yeah. What's the Bears one?
I texted this to you.
Oh yeah,
guys.
more wins for the Bears or something
Kopech.
else. Kopech, yeah.
Because we're trying.
We can do that next week.
Yeah. Also, more starts in right field in 2024. A lawyer Sheets. You know what? I mean.
I think the answer might be Eloy Jimenez.
I think so, too, because all it takes is just Eloy to make the team and Sheets to not make the team.
Correct.
Because then, just will they get brave enough to make one start?
Sheets is making the team. I don't know if he's going to be the right fielder, but he's most talented 25 in their organization or 26 in their organization. He's being on this team.
Our guy Chris Getz said that he's going to be adding a right fielder, so.
Yeah, he did.
At any point. Oh, Rafael Ortega?
Yeah.
I don't think he meant Rafael Ortega.
You should have done which will it be days before Tim Anderson signs or days before White Sox sign a right fielder. Because I think that right field signing could be the same thing. Right at the start of spring training, if not after.
Elvis Andrus equals Whit Merrifield.
Do you think Elvis Andrus can play right field?
He can play second base.
Found that out last year.
I still think that Elvis Andrus can come back. I still think that Brian Shaw can come back. I still think that Whit Merrifield's a possibility.
We learned at the winter meetings they're open to bringing Brian Shaw back.
They are?
They are.
Someone asked him that?
Someone asked him that.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I missed the winter meeting, so I didn't know that. They got to get on that. Who's knocking at Brian Shaw's door? How much money does Brian Shaw want?
I don't know. He was really good last year.
He's fine. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at ActorWall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button. We're only at Paul Konerko. We'd appreciate at least Gordon Beckham. Thank you very much. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back here tomorrow at 3:30. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.